But anyways, the primary reason why we came here was to check out Ziona, which is the place where the Firewalker mission will be. And before we do that, let's just take a second here. Remind ourselves what the deal is with that. So, Cerberus's Project Firewalker has reported a survey ship has gone missing near the planet Ziona. The ship was carrying researchers and a prototype planet-side exploration vehicle when it went missing. Cerberus has asked that the vehicle be recovered and that any signs as to the whereabouts of the researchers be reported. We need to travel here and find this Hammerhead prototype vehicle and any signs of those researchers. Okay. So let's check it out. And interestingly enough, when it comes to selecting our squad here, let's just say, don't worry about it. Well, sure, we'll add Jack, just because we don't get the chance to use her very often. And it's been a while since we last used Jacob as well. In terms of abilities, likewise, don't worry about it. But we do have a couple more skill points here. And as we were saying previously, we were originally intending to save up for Charge 4, which is of course something that we'll still want to do eventually, but we then may have accidentally allocated Shockwave 1 and Shockwave 2. So definitely don't hover over Shockwave. We definitely don't want any more than that. We only wanted to go up to Shockwave 2 eventually in order to unlock Pull. So this is now available to us, and it is something that we've seen Jacob use in the past. It is a quick cooldown ability, so that is very nice, just 3 seconds. And it will lift enemies up in the air for 5 seconds. If we upgrade it a second time, 7 seconds. So I think that's probably where we want to spend this point here. Unfortunately, we can't afford to get up to Pull 2, but I mean, just having it available at all is certainly nice to be able to do. But our enemies do need to have their additional layers of protection, like armor, shields, barriers, what have you, removed. Otherwise, this doesn't work. Speaking of Pull, here is Jacob, and he has it. And with 5 points, that means that is enough for him to go up to Pull rank 3. And this is a good example of the difference between squad mates and us. For us, Pull rank 1 has a 5-second cooldown, whereas Pull rank 3 for Jacob has a 9-second cooldown. So our abilities are generally significantly at least quicker than our teammates, and that's why, although there are other people that have access to Pull, like Jacob, and actually like Jack as well, in some ways, I'd like for us to be the Pull specialist, because it's the kind of ability that it is really helpful to use that very frequently, and we can use it the most frequently. So why not have us be that person that does that? So, I mean, we can put those points in for Jacob. I think it is probably still an ability that we'll want to have him use, but this might not be a bad time to actually throw some points into Cerberus Operative for his passives, which will give him health and weapon damage. I mean, the numbers do work perfectly here, so we'll go for it. Otherwise, we would have been left with a strange amount left over there if we were to have gone with the passives. For Jack, it's tricky, because we would, once we unlock it, like to go with warp ammo, and Shockwave, much like in the case for us, not really an ability that we're terribly fond of, but I do think we needed to get it up to rank 2 in order to even have the option of using Pull. So I think we're probably still going to save these skill points and wait for the opportunity to eventually upgrade warp ammo, because as soon as that does become available, we'd like to basically just immediately max it out and get up to squad warp ammo. Then in terms of weapons, don't worry about it. Okay.
I don't think the ship is safe. We've run into the geth far too often.
Hmm?
I'm going to stay at the next site with Dr. Aloy. I think we'll be safer there.
Okay. Let's take a look around here. Again, unfortunately, no map, but, what do we have in this area here? It does look like a volcanic world, for sure, by the looks of things. Dramatic photo opportunity, but, I think there is a photo mode in Mass Effect Legendary Edition as well. That is actually something you could do if you really wanted to. But we've got what appears to be some kind of facility here. And we can bypass that to get in. Anything else in the area before we do so? Not sure that there is.
I don't think the ship is safe. We've run into the geth far too often.
But we've run into that message one time already. Thank you very much, Journal. Alright, let's break in. And by break in, I mean bypass, which basically means break in. Okay, let's see. You and you. You and you. Two, and that means you two as well. Alright, looks like we're in. Well, that's dramatic. I think we found it.
Primary systems online. Welcome to the M44 Hammerhead Infantry Fighting Vehicle. This is your onboard VI.
Alright. So as you can see here, this is the Hammerhead, which is our new all-terrain vehicle of sorts.
Missile system active.
And so it is, in some ways, sort of like the replacement for the Mako back in Mass Effect 1. I know. Save your thoughts on the Mako. We've been there, done that in Mass Effect 1. But, it is fairly quick. Okay, well, don't crash into things, because it does take damage for that, I believe. But differences between this and the Mako, much quicker. It can do this. Fortunately, no fall damage. Otherwise, it would have gone kaplunk there and just gotten decimated. So yeah, it's a little bit quicker, significantly higher jumping distance, jumping capabilities than the Mako had, and it can shoot. It can also boost itself forward like that as well, and may even be able to boost to jump. It can. So we may get a little bit of a sort of run through with the abilities here in a second, but that's the general abilities that we're looking at here. Other thing to bear in mind, unlike the Mako, this is not really structured to be a war machine of sorts. It's not really a tank. It does have a cannon attached to it, yes, but that is not really an indication that this thing is set up to take some heavy fire. As you can see, it's not really as thickly built as the Mako was. But we're here to collect some research, and I think that is the first place where we will find some, right there. See what we can do about that. So let's see, hold Y and remain close.
Objectives located.
Collect the research, so we're gonna move around as we find this stuff, and so do need to sort of manually try to keep us roughly in place. So we've got several of these types of things, these research places for us to pick up. Oh, okay. That apparently is sufficient for us to crash into it.
Let's take a closer look.
Every time we do that, we will get some credits. Okay, we will need to get all of those in order to complete this mission here. We need to keep our eyes peeled. Have the height to get up here? Yes, we do.
Detected.
Okay, let's just make sure there isn't
Recommend
anything
using
back here.
conventional weapons to clear path.
And here's your introduction to that.
Path is now clear.
You don't say. Okay, hold LT to boost through the fire. Like so. So that's the speed. And now we might need to do a boosted jump here to get up. By the looks of things, that appears to be our target. Why don't we... Oh, we can't save here. I was going to say, we're not yet saved on this planet. Might be worth doing, but... Here goes nothing! We got it. We got it. Anything else? Oh yeah, so I was saying how I don't think this can take nearly as much damage as the Mako could in Mass Effect 1. Other thing is, I alluded to it before, but I do think it takes damage if you crash into things. So you need to be careful of that. Also, was there... I thought there was another research research spot for us. Namely, one right there. Oh, this is actually not so much the direction we wanted to go in. Can we go from here? I mean, we can make that jump, right? Actually, there might not even be lava below us. I don't think there is. But we're fine. We're totally fine. What could possibly go wrong, right? And yeah, it doesn't seem to matter at all what kind of heights you fall from. So as you can see there, we had some elevation, we boosted up, and we just plummeted straight down, and it didn't matter. Didn't take any damage from it, I don't think. There we go. Just a little bit more. And maybe slightly less than halfway done with that. Let's see if there's anything else around here of interest. We can sneak through here. If we can. That is perhaps an area we'd like to go down eventually. Just want to make sure we're not missing anything over here in the meantime. I think we're exclusively looking for those research spots. And they have the sort of glowy circles around them, so they shouldn't be that hard to spot unless they are hiding in remote corners somewhere, which certainly may be a thing every now and again. Like, there we go, okay. The large pillars of light, also helpful in that regard. So it does look like we're trying to get back up. And in order to do that, I mean, we can see if we have enough height to make this. Whoa, okay, well, don't do that. That probably hurt. We kind of sort of made it, though. Might have taken a little bit of a beating in the process, but here we are. Huzzah. Okay, that is a dramatic Eye of Sauron over there. Looks like a lot of stuff over here. We might need to boost in order to land this jump. So let's go for it. We certainly got this. Okay. Let's see. So it's over here. Let's make sure that we don't fall off the edge as we are trying to scan this. Okay. Looking good. Getting close now. That's almost the last of them. One more over here. And then, no, based on how full our meter is, that might be the last one. We might need one more after that. If we do, then I'm not sure where that last one is, but we'll see. Here goes nothing. Again, you need to autocorrect for the movement. Try not to fall off the edge. There does seem to be one more. Question comes where? Oh, over there. Okay. How do we get there exactly? It does look like maybe... Potentially the way we came from, but I'm eyeing this area up to that ramp-like looking thing, and then onto that, and then over. Thinking something like that. Go. Step 1 complete. Go. Step 2. Now, whoa. Okay, didn't really think that was going to cause us to take damage, but then this right here is the platform that it appears to be on. So here we go. This should be the last one by the looks of things.
Mission objectives completed.
Alright, and that's it. Once we've done that, we can end the mission. Would we like to leave to the Normandy? Yeah, well, return to the Normandy, let's do it. So mission complete. We found the wreckage of the freighter MSV Rosalie. The M44 Hammerhead is acquired, and we recovered the research data in question. Got 125 experience from that, roughly the same amount we've typically gotten whenever we've gone on another planet for a side quest. And then we got 7,500 credits from finding all that stuff. I remembered hearing somewhere that apparently this is misleading, and we actually only got 7,500 for this. We didn't get any additional credits from Cerberus for this. So, still, a nice, easy way to load up on some credits, because no enemies here. Okay. And we got that upgrade for Jack when we talked with her previously. That's not really new. But, take a look at our journal here. Because now what we will find is that, sure, we completed that mission for Firewalker, which was basically just an introduction of sorts to the new, Mako replacement vehicle. But now we've got a few other missions that might also tie to that, including, let's see, Death Incursion here, which is the name of a mission in Mass Effect 1. In fact, it is the mission that is kinda, sorta, technically Tally's loyalty mission from Mass Effect 1, but let's see. Data reveals that Dr. Case was interested in the anomalous weather patterns on the planet Latesh. He had scattered probes on the planet's surface in hope that the unnatural atmospheric conditions might be related to protein technology. If Cerberus could recover the data from those probes, it could shed some light on Dr. Case's research. Travel to Latesh, Chonos system, Phoenix Massing, and recover the data collected by the probes on the planet's surface. Okay, sounds good. Why don't we make a point heading over there next in that case? And again, this is the same general area where we have Zaid's loyalty mission, but I think we will wait to do that until a little bit later on. So I think we're looking to head back in this direction. Let's see, that's the master relay over here. That's Zaid's loyalty mission over there. It's down here we're looking to go, though.
We have used half our fuel.
Could be fine for fuel, although might be worth restocking here. Alright, looking good. And even probes. Sure, let's get another round. Now let's head over. So yeah, the reason why this is not 100% over here is because we haven't yet gone to the area where we have Zaid's loyalty mission. But now we have a totally new system. In fact, all these places where we have the Firewalker missions. So I suppose we did already know a little bit about the Phoenix Massing because we did know about Project Overlord previously. But let's see. So I was thinking that we would do Death Incursion first. So let's go here, and again, there is another mission in this general area, but I think we won't necessarily look to do that right now. Okay, so let's see. Overlord is over there. Firewalker is further in that direction, but while we're here, might as well explore this system. Let's see what we have. Ashasara, a gas giant, Ishasara, is composed mostly of hydrogen and nitrogen. Its orbit in recent years has taken it close to the mass relay in its system, making it a popular stop for scoop ships to refuel the hydrogen in their thrusters before moving on. Let's see, well, perhaps that is why it does not have much in the way of resources here, so no thank you. Let's look elsewhere. And we have this planet next, Serapi. Serapi, ever upward, is the second planet orbiting the white star Tasra. Serapi's pressure cooker atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane serves as a greenhouse to the already boiling hot surface. Cobalt compounds are frequently found on its crust, giving spectacular blue tinges to its land. Scans from orbital probes indicate its crust contains deposits of platinum, likely to be as unexploited as its sister planet, Pahur. Giving us a hint here? This is the place to go for platinum? We will have to see about that. We will be the judge. And that's iridium, for what it's worth. And that's not that high up there. I mean, it's solid. But I'm thinking we might find something better still. Also, alright, that's probably a little bit worse. Well. Getting a little bit better here, but maybe still not quite at the point we'd like it to be. That's better, though. That's much better. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's nab that.
Probe launched.
Okay. Those are decent twin peaks there. And we generally prefer to maximize one and get that bar as high as possible, rather than splitting it across two. So if we have the choice, then I would prioritize doing that. And this may be the place to do that. Something like that.
Probe away.
Platinum was the one it was telling us about before, saying this is the place to go for it. But it is now downgraded to good. So, place we've seen before for the palladium, it may have been. I mean, that's borderline. But I think we oh, hold on. Is this the place we were seeing before? You hit it right on the mark. That does look pretty good. And it's a good planet, so in theory, you know, we might find better stuff from the rich ones. Supposedly, they're saying the neighboring planet was also very good for resources, so maybe let's check this one before we get too crazy. Pahur, by normal standards, a large rock planet, Pahur, fiery, is constantly scorched by the white, bright giant it orbits. A dense atmosphere featuring hydrogen, helium, and clouds of vaporized magnesium float above its iron-rich core, making a truly hellish landscape. Its spectacular temperature prevents any practical exploitation. Whoa! 1,445 degrees Celsius. That's pretty freaking hot. Pretty hot. And it is also rich in resources, so this is also a place that I think is worth taking a close look at here. Didn't really get any hints from the description saying that there's a specific resource we should be looking out for. I mean, that's good. It's very good for iridium. I'm wondering if we can get great. Oh. Not often you see iridium plus palladium, where we have two distinct peaks. Hold on, is it? Wondering if there's a place where we can get one to go particularly high, maybe at the cost of the other, but that may still be worth it. And then in doing so, I abandoned what was otherwise seemingly the best spot, and that might be right around here. I mean, they're both good. They're both very good. And having two that are very good is maybe sufficient to be worth sending out the probe here.
Probe launched.
Oh. This is the one we were looking at before? I don't know, but this has got to be high enough, I think, to be worth doing here. Or what's the super peak? Bearish? Oh, we got it better than that. Yeah. Something like this?
Launching probe.
Okay, now we're back down to good. I think we probably call it quits here. Okay. And that's it for this system. Maybe we just load up on some probes, because we did use a bunch there. And fuel, we're still fine. Let's head over to the Firewalker spot, although actually... So I think we'll wait to do Overlord, because that's a totally different mission, a totally different DLC. Of course, Firewalker is what we're looking to do here, but this one we just don't know anything about. This Salahil. So why don't we try that and see if there is anything interesting in this area. It's tiny. It is absolutely tiny. We have Ekuna. First discovered by the Quarians at the turn of the century, Ekuna is habitable, but a second-tier choice for most species, not to be confused with Dekuna, which I believe is the homeworld for the Elcor. Circling an orange sun, Ekuna averages below freezing temperatures. This led development firms to colonize at the planet's equator, where the climate is tolerable for agriculture. The Quarians, seeking a homeworld of their own, petitioned the Citadel Council for the right to take over Ekuna, but they had already settled a few 100,000 Quarians on the planet before approaching the Council. Seeing this occupation as an illegal act, the Council turned a deaf ear to Quarian pleas and gave the world to the Elcor, but did go to the Elcor after all, who could withstand the high gravity of the world far better. The Quarians squatting on the planet were given one galactic standard month to leave, at which point their colonies would be bombarded. The junk left by the fleeing Quarians clog up portions of the landscape to this day. Non-Elcor visitors to Ekuna are advised to use personal or vehicular mass effect fields to lighten the pressure, as the surface gravity will otherwise cause health and mechanical problems. So there are 221 million people, so that's pretty significant population there. Not like humongous likes of which you would see in a home world of one of the species, but still significant. And so how significant is the gravity? 4.1 G's? Okay, I suppose we were seeing something along those lines previously where we saw a similar description saying that it's really only suitable for Elcor. Let's see, it is rich though, when it comes to resources. Oh, and it has Ezo. I am interested. I am interested in that case. Let's nab some of this. Hold on, I'm curious to see though, can we get a better source of the Ezo? That is definitely what we would prioritize in this case, unless we have something really well suited for a probe like this platinum here.
Probe away.
Might have been able to get a slightly better spot than that, but hopefully that still was a pretty good source. Okay, hold on. This might be a little bit better than the Ezo spot we were looking at previously.
Probe away.
And getting roughly 1,000 ESO is definitely a welcome sight. Let's see, hold on, this was shooting up over here. Is that good enough? Probably. It's borderline. Hold on. Hold on, this looks better. This does look better. Right around there.
Launching probe.
But yeah, Ezo is definitely the hardest to get, and therefore I think that is what we want to prioritize here, most of all. In this case, slightly less than 1,000 that time. 1,000 Ezo is a lot of Ezo. That is not the easiest thing to get. Like, this is definitely not as high on the Ezo here. It exists. Oh, but now we're down to moderate. I was not even looking at that much there, but perhaps reason for us to look for other sources of Ezo going forward. Now let's head over to our Firewalker mission. Okay, so we got Latesh, which is the place where we are eventually looking to go. But let's explore it here, and we'll also check out the other planet over there as well, which looks like it is the same size as the star.
I have detected an anomaly.
Okay, so Latesh, translated from a Solarian dialect as "it's still winter," has an almost habitable temperature and abundant water, but shows no signs of life. Regular supervolcanic eruptions in the southern hemisphere have shrouded the sun and led to a climate of even more bone-chilling than usual. Okay. It is negative 35 degrees Celsius. I mean, that isn't crazy. We were certainly on worse in Mass Effect 1. But it is... Oh, okay. With the Shroud, it's negative 53, making it a fair bit worse. Okay. Let's see. Let's find this anomaly first. Here it is.
Probe launched. Something on our sensors.
Let's see. So anomaly detected. Planetary scans detect signals from sensor pods left on the planet's surface. These pods may contain valuable data. Warning, surface temperatures are extremely low. Advise keeping Hammerhead exposure to the cold at an absolute minimum. So, you remember my saying that the first time we were using the Hammerhead, when we first acquired it, that it was more or less sort of like a tutorial, an introduction to the Hammerhead. This is how it works, these are the various things that you can do with it. But, with these subsequent Firewalker missions, yes, we will also be using the Hammerhead. However, let's just say things start to get a little more complicated. So, we will eventually look to land here. But first, let's explore the other planet in this area. This ginormous one. Trigetis. Trigetis is a gas giant named for the first Solarian astronomer to predict planets' occurrences mathematically rather than through direct observation. It has a faint ring system and 3 moons, Tadacha, Norum, and Bestia. High-altitude clouds can be seen casting shadows on Trigesta's lower atmosphere, where concentrations of methane and ammonia give it an azure color. The planet is believed to be an extrasolar capture. Okay, let's see. Moderate in terms of the resources here. So I think in all likelihood we are not looking to launch any probes unless we see any spikes of ESO, but I think that's very unlikely, not seeing any here, so why don't we carry on? And that means we are looking to head over to Latesh. Before we do so, though, let's save. We haven't done so for apparently a while because we last saved on Corliss. And this mission, as I was saying, gonna be significantly harder than the one that we were just on with the Hammerhead. And how exactly does that work, you say? Well, oh, actually, we can get the actual mission description. Why don't we actually read that? So, oh, well, we have seen this before. So yeah, travel here and recover the data collected by the probes on the planet's surface. So that's generally going to be the theme when it comes to Hammerhead missions, is collecting research from little places like we saw in the previous mission, but with the introduction of more complications to make things a little more interesting with these subsequent missions. So the reason why this one is going to be more difficult is because, as we're reading here, it is very, very cold. Advise keeping Hammerhead exposure to the cold at an absolute minimum. So you might be saying to yourself, sure, it's cold. What's the worst that could possibly happen, right? You know, like the Hammerhead freezes over entirely and becomes completely unusable and we lose. Yeah, that's the thing. So we can land, but bear in mind that we have a pseudo timer on this mission. So, it's not as straightforward as it might initially seem, because yes, our vehicle can quite literally freeze. So, much like with the previous mission in which we spent approximately 30 seconds outside of the vehicle, it doesn't really matter who we take here, so, let's once again make a point of taking some people that we don't take very often, like Jack and Jacob, just because, well, gives us the opportunity to at least pretend that we are using them more often. Alright, and I think once again, we're looking to save Jack's abilities per skill points until we can use warp ammo, and with us, we're waiting to either upgrade pull or charge all the way up to 4. Weapons also relevant here. And so, in case it wasn't clear, yes, we did in fact collect the Hammerhead after that previous mission, and it is now hanging out on the Normandy, and we can deploy it when needed.
Prolonged exposure to extreme temperatures.
Okay. Gonna pause, or at least read the mission update immediately here, because, like I was saying, the longer we wait, the more that it starts to freeze. So find all nodes on the surface of Latesh. So we're looking for the same research-type things that we saw in the previous mission. However, you'll see, I believe it's in the bottom right corner, there will be a little bit, it might be a meter that basically says, or maybe that's just our research meter, but the Hammerhead will get slower the colder it gets, and generally means that, of course, the mission will get more difficult, so we gotta be fast. We gotta be fast. 10 nodes left.
Atmospheric data acquired. Engine temperature stabilizing.
And it does heat up a little bit when we have the Hammerhead actually picking up the stuffs. So that helps too. So we get resources
Caution.
whenever we
Engine
collect
temperature
these.
falling.
You gotta be fast. Excuse me?
Extraction complete.
Okay, we are significantly slower, because I did not mean to slow down there, but apparently something happened that did slow us down. But again, we will heat up a little bit whenever we do the scanning.
Temperature falling.
You can actually see the ice building
Extraction complete.
on the vehicle, which is an indication of, yes, that it is getting frozen up.
Caution. Engine temperature falling.
So I don't actually know how low it is when it tells us that it is falling.
Extraction complete.
Nice. I think if we're hanging out next to those torches, it can actually heat us up.
Temperature
And
falling.
we are far away. This one could be the end of us. We're not quick here. I should not have jumped. Ooh, I was not on it. Look at how much slower it's going this time.
Extraction complete.
Ooh. Yeah, we are cutting this close. We still got 5 left. We got a ways to go, I'm afraid. Yo, don't do the jumping. Don't do the jumping. Oh!
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
I understand that. Ooh, not on top of it. So we're getting the red when we are not close enough to it.
Extraction complete.
And that slows us down
Engine
significantly.
temperature falling.
And we might have needed to hang out next to the previous one there to heat up a little bit more.
Extraction complete.
Nice. 3 left. We're making progress, but oh man, we are slow now. Trying to use our boost to speed us up a bit.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
Understand that.
Extraction complete. Caution. Engine temperature falling.
Okay, we got this area here.
Warning. Engine temperature below recommended parameters. Extraction complete.
Okay, just 1 left at the very least.
Engine temperature falling.
So worst comes to worst, we miss out on a little bit here. This one looks like it's far away. I don't see it at all.
Engine temperature below recommended parameters.
Up there. Wow. Come on.
Extraction complete.
Done.
We got it. It was close. I don't know exactly how much time you have when you're getting those warning signs, but we pulled it off. We got all of them. So what happens is if you freeze, if you take too long and you freeze, then I think the mission just immediately ends and you get however many resources you manage to get by scanning those, but it could be just 1 round. It could be half of them. It could be however many you manage to get. And so we got some Cerberus funding here. No credits found, of course, but we did get 5,000 Palladium, so not bad in that sense. Another 125 experiences, not bad either. All right, so taking a look at our journal here, we are now done with Geth activity. With all the data collected, Cerberus can search it for clues as to Dr. Case's whereabouts. And the researchers that were affiliated with this project. So now we have survey sites located, and we have volcano station. Let's see. Data shows that Dr. Case had stopped on a planet Korang to run tests on artifacts found on the planet's surface. Recovering the data he collected could lead to Cerberus could lead servers to discover Dr. Case's last known location, or alternatively, Volcano Station. Data taken from Xeona reveals that Dr. Case established a research station deep inside an active volcano on the planet Karumto. Dr. Case believed that the volcano hides an extensive Prothean ruin. Whether his hunch was true or not, the station should contain data that will lead to Dr. Case's whereabouts. Caution is advised. Yeah, okay. So as we saw, of course, in the previous one, it is unlike the first mission, where we were just zooming through, didn't have to worry about anything slowing us down. But, yeah, stuff just gets more complicated. So, let's try maybe going for survey sites next.